Uncharted, the Enigma of Penitence was a brand new Intamin multi-dimension coaster which has opened at PortAventura over in Spain in the 2023 season. I was massively excited to get out to PortAventura earlier this year and get my first ride experience on this brand new coaster. I had really high hopes for this ride. I have ridden other Intamin multi-dimension coasters such as Movie Park Studio Tour at Movie Park Germany, which is one of my favourite indoor coasters in the world. I think it's absolutely amazing. And here in the UK, Alton Towers with Project Horizon in 2025. A lot of the rumours and speculation at the minute is that it's going to be an Intamin multi-dimension indoor coaster with heavy theming. And so I was really excited after experiencing Movie Park Tour over in Movie Park Germany a few years ago to obviously the current speculation regarding Project Horizon coming to Alton Towers in the coming years. I was really excited earlier this year to go and ride Uncharted, the Enigma of Penitence, and experience what it has to offer. However, in my opinion, it is a massively underwhelming ride experience. In my opinion, it's actually probably the worst new coaster, or one of the worst new coasters of the major coaster editions that were added to a major park in 2023. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a very quick little spoiler-free, because I don't want to spoil the ride experience for anyone who hasn't seen it. I think it definitely does deserve to be experienced first time. I don't think it's something which shouldn't still go out there and ride. I think you should still try and ride this one day, but I am going to be giving just my overall first impressions and review of this coaster. If you do enjoy today's video, please do give it a like. It massively helps out the channel. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future, and let's get into today's video. So this has opened in sort of the western area of the park. If you're familiar with PortAventura, once you've gone down your main street, turn left when you get to Furious Baco, and you sort of go past the water rides there. There's a rapids and a log flume, rather than turning right and going towards the Asian themed area at the back of the park with Shambhala and Furious Baco. If you turn left, this is over near Stampeder and Tomahawk, which is the two wooden coasters over in that left-hand corner of the park. Overall, when you first get to the ride, I think it looks fantastic. The facade is really good. Obviously, this is an IP. It's themed to the Uncharted games and the film that has come out recently. I was a bit worried overall how it would look in the area, but they have done a fantastic theming effort, at least from the outside, to make it look good within the area. I think the sculpting and the rock work on the overall building looks fantastic. Just like everything else in PortAventura, you can't actually tell there's a ride building there from the pathways and the midways. It does just look like a really nice bit of rock work. Some of the sculpting on there is fantastic, and it really does look a really great new addition to the area. So that sort of gets you off on high hopes. You're thinking, oh wow, this is fantastically themed from the outside. However, then let's take us through the queue line, and let's see where this starts to depreciate, in my opinion. And in my opinion, it does actually just get worse and worse as we go on, and that is the issue here, because the queue line again is it's nothing spectacular, but it is quite nicely themed. The first room you go into is really nicely themed, lots of sort of adventure things. There's lots of stuff to look at. There's bookcases. It's quite nice and dark and lit with torches. It looks really nice. It's very atmospheric. The next room you go into has a little pre-show sort of screen going on there. There's also animatronics talking. It's all in Spanish, but if you get the translation, it does tell you about the story of the ride, and it's overall themed really nicely. There's lots of little statues in the queue. There's some almost jump scares in the queue, lots of sound effects and things, and multiple screens going on, and it does tell you a story throughout the queue line. As you go through, there is a consistent story told throughout the queue line of this ride, and I think, like I say, when you combine the actual queue line and the story they're telling through the queue line and the actual facade of the ride and the rock work from the outside, you do have really high expectations for the ride. And like I say as well, when you compare this to something like Movie Park Studio Tour, that has fantastic theming, and it is renowned to be one of the best coasters in the world, one of the best indoor coasters in the world, because when you combine such a fantastic ride system that these Intamin multi-dimension coasters offer with that fantastic theming, it really does provide a truly great and truly elite ride experience. And I think when you see the facade that this coaster offers, and you're going through the queue line waiting for this, I queued over an hour for this ride when I went earlier this year, because it is a brand new coaster. It's easily the most popular coaster at the park at the minute, other than maybe Shambhala's very long queue lines for this. That may have something to do with the actual capacity of the ride, though, because capacity isn't great on a coaster like this. But this get you very high hopes. It does get you hyped up for the ride, and then you get to your station. It's an okay looking station. It's sort of like a cave sort of area. There's lots of like glowing and sparkling crystals all over the wall, and it's nice. It's not outstanding, but it is a nice looking station. It's okay. And then you go through into your ride experience, and what this essentially becomes is a good indoor coaster. Don't get me wrong, when you're actually talking about the layout, there's backwards sections, there's spinning sections, there's a spike in there, there's multiple launches, and the launches are very powerful, don't get me wrong. And it's obviously, that is as of 2023 when it's just opened, really glass smooth. It offers a really smooth experience in there. And as an actual indoor coaster, I think it's you know, the overall layout of the ride, when you're talking about just the coaster track, is a fantastic layout. And you know, I think it is a really nice, don't get me wrong, it's not the longest layout in the world, it's quite short, but it's a nice looking layout. But where this falters in the actual ride itself is the theming. I was hoping after the facade and the queue line, as I've said, being really well themed, and something similar to Movie Park Germany, which is also amazingly themed, I just thought there is literally nothing in there. When you're actually on the ride itself, you have 2 or 3 sections where the actual train slows down, and you know, you get to look at some screens, and there's a bit of stuff going off on the screen, and every now and then there's some like flashes around the car when you are moving, but there really is nothing in this room. You are in a pitch black ride system box with the occasional screen, the occasional flashing light, and that honestly really is it. There is nothing to this ride other than the occasional section where the train stops, you then watch something on a screen, it then goes through the next bit of track, you watch something on a screen, might be a few bits of flashing lights in between, but it is essentially just a coaster in the dark. Imagine something like Space Mountain over at Disneyland over in Florida. You know, I think this is not amazing, and I thought, you know, after seeing how well they've themed the queue line, themed the overall facade of the building, maybe a lot of their budget went there, maybe that's what it was, I just don't know. Or maybe they honestly thought that people would just like the coaster track experience as a bit more of a thrilling ride when you know, enjoy the story that is told throughout the actual screens in the ride, and the story that's told throughout the queue line. Maybe people thought they'd be, you know, sufficient and happy enough with that side of the story. But in my opinion, you know, I do have to keep coming back to it. When you look at something like Studio Tour at Movie Park Germany, that is consistently well themed from the moment you enter the queue line, even, you know, before that, walking up to the building, throughout the ride system itself. There is not a dull moment on that ride. Every single room you go into, there's so much to look at. You have to ride that coaster 4 or 5 times to see everything, and every time you do, you see something new. This, you ride it once and you see everything because there is nothing to see. You are in a black dark box where you can't see 10 meters in front of you until you come to the next screen. You watch something on the screen, you go through the next bit of track, screen, repeat, and that's honestly it. You know, it's such a massive letdown. I think this could have had such high potential. You know, Uncharted, the games, the films, they're amazing. You know, there could have been so many large set pieces there, explosions going off, fire effects, water effects, whatever it is, animatronics, I don't know, projection mapping. You know, there really could have been so much that they could have done with this ride, and it is, in my opinion, just a massive letdown. I think it had such high potential and they just didn't actually get up to that. But to bring this back to closer to home with Project Horizon at Alton Towers, compare this ride to Studio Tour at Movie Park Germany. That does just show you, if you are going with an Intamin multi-dimension coaster for this new Alton Towers coaster in 2025, how good and how bad it can be. This could be a truly elite coaster at Alton if they theme it well and tell a good story, but it could be a very average coaster, a good track. But you know, other than that, I've got no dying need to ever get back to ride this coaster. You know, I think that, like I say, the actual track itself was very good. I quite like the layout they went with, but the theming, very bad, and therefore I just don't have any desire to go back and ride this coaster. If you've ridden Uncharted, the Enigma of Penitence, I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback and review on the ride down below. Did you enjoy it more than I did? If so, please tell me why, because in my opinion, massive letdown, one of the worst new coasters to open in 2023. Thank you very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please do give it a like. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you very much for watching.